Today we will discuss about the steps of small incision cataract surgery. I am going to share with you a very interesting and very educative video uh, which will help you to understand the steps of small incision cataract surgery. So let us first start with PowerPoint presentation. So now we have decided to operate the patient. So now naturally there are different types of cataract surgery. So what cataract surgery will you choose for what type of patient? That we have to that will be the question in your mind. First thing that I want to tell you is that in olden days we used to do intracapsular surgeries, and nowadays we do extracapsular surgery. So, what is the difference between intracapsular cataract surgery and extracapsular cataract surgery? In intracapsular cataract surgery, we remove the whole lens when we do the surgery. Whereas in extracapsular cataract surgery, what do we do is the essential concept is we make an opening into the anterior capsule and we remove that part of the anterior capsule and along with the lens nucleus and cortex, whereas we leave the posterior capsule behind. So we don't remove the posterior capsule during extracapsular surgery, whereas during intracapsular surgery we remove everything including posterior capsule. We remove each and every part of the lens including posterior capsule. So what is the advantage? So we have to put a lens, and the natural position to put lens is in the capsular bag. So that's why posterior capsule needs to be intact to put the posterior chamber lens. So that is one advantage, that we can put the lens. And the second thing is that because we are removing the whole lens, the vitreous will come out, and there is a risk of vitreous prolapse in intracapsular and vitreous loss during intracapsular surgery, and that increases the risk of complications such as cystoid macular edema and retinal detachment. So that's why we don't do intracapsular surgeries anymore nowadays. Only when the patient's the lens is dislocated into the posterior chamber, posterior segment, sorry, in the vitreous cavity, then we do intracapsular surgery. So mostly, as I hope you have understood, that mostly we are doing extracapsular surgery, that in which we are leaving the posterior capsule behind. So there are various ways by which we can achieve this task. Basically, there are three types of ECC. ECC means extracapsular cataract surgery. One is conventional, other is SICS, and other is phaco. So some steps are common to all these three types. So let us see that. So these are the steps that will be there in each and every type of cataract surgery. That we have to first make an incision, then we have to puncture the anterior capsule. We have to remove the part of anterior capsule. So we have to do capsulotomy. Then we have to somehow remove the nucleus. So that is called as nucleus management. Once we remove the nucleus, then part of the soft nucleus or epinucleus is left behind. Sometimes the nucleus with along with the nucleus, epinucleus also gets removed, but sometimes it gets left behind. So we have to remove the epinucleus, and then we have to remove the cortical fibers, the lens cortical fibers we have to remove. So that is done by irrigation and aspiration, that is IN. Once everything is clear, then we insert the intraocular lens, and then we make that we ensure wound closure. We may not necessarily put sutures, but we have to see that the wound is secure. So these are the steps which are common in all types of cataract surgery, that is incision, capsulotomy, nucleus management, irrigation and aspiration, then insertion of IOL and wound closure. So what do we do in conventional cataract surgery? Nowadays, we rarely perform conventional cataract surgery. In conventional cataract surgery, we make a big incision at the limbus, which is parallel to the limbus. And then after making that incision, we do the capsulotomy, we remove the nucleus, and we do irrigation and aspiration, and we put the lens. But the incision here is a big curvilinear incision. Curvilinear means parallel to the limbus. So this incision is not self-sealing. So we have to put sutures. We have to take sutures to close that incision. So that was a conventional cataract surgery, and then these sutures cause a lot of irritation, and the wound also is not secure. So sometimes there is risk of hypotony or prolapse of iris to this wound. Then as the incision is bigger, friends, remember, bigger the incision, more is the astigmatism. So the astigmatism will also be more. The patient will also require subsequent suture removal. So that's why, because of these disadvantages, nobody is doing conventional cataract surgery as the procedure nowadays. Very few people do it. It is done in very hard, very brown cataract, black cataracts, where we think that we might damage the cornea by small incision or phacosurgery. So it is rarely done, conventional cataract surgery. It is rarely done nowadays. So what is the difference between conventional cataract surgery and small incision surgery? SICS means small incision cataract surgery. So the beauty of small incision cataract surgery is that it's valvular incision. As I will explain you in detail in the subsequent video, the incision here is three planar incisions. So the external incision is lies in the sclera. Then we make a sclerocorneal tunnel and we enter through the cornea. So that's why our incision becomes valvular. So whenever anything comes tries to comes out of the eye through this incision, it closes automatically. So there is a valve effect, and that's why our surgery is also very safe. It's like a closed chamber surgery only, and we may not need to put sutures. Also, the incision size is external incision size is smaller. So what do? We make a small incision, then we make a bigger tunnel. The internal incision will be more than the external incision. So it will be, the tunnel will be like a funnel shaped tunnel. So that's why now the small incision surgery is very much in vogue still now in India. So that is one type of ECC, that is small incision cataract surgery. Then the phaco surgery, in which we make a very small incision and we insert phaco probe into that and we eat the nucleus with that and we put a foldable lens. So friends, first let us see this small video. We'll discuss this video so that the steps of cataract surgery will be very clear to you. So this is not my video. I have taken it from YouTube. This is posted by a very excellent teacher in ophthalmology, Dr. Bhatti, from Mumbai only. So let us see that video. So basically, what we are doing is we are removing the cataract through the scleral tunnel. So how do we do it? So first, we have to take a bridle
Before
suture.
starting the surgery, access to the superior.
First, we have to take a bridle suture, means we take a suture through the superior rectus so that the eye moves downwards and we get an adequate exposure. So we have taken superior rectus suture. Then after that, what we are doing is we are fashioning a conjunctival flap. So we are making an incision in conjunctiva at the limbus, and then we are dissecting beneath the conjunctiva, and then we are enlarging the conjunctival incision. So we are fashioning a conjunctival flap. This is a fornix based conjunctival flap, so that we get a exposure of the sclera. Once we expose the sclera, then there are blood vessels. As you see, the blood vessels are bleeding, so we cauterize the blood vessels by using cautery. Once we have achieved sufficient hemostasis, then we will proceed with the further steps. So you can see here the limbus very clearly. This is the cornea, this is sclera, and this is limbus zone. So just behind this limbus, we are taking a frown-shaped external incision into the sclera. Can you see that incision? That incision is frown-shaped. We may take a straight incision or a trapezoidal incision also. So once we have taken, this is not a full thickness incision. This is a partial thickness incision. So we have taken a partial thickness incision into the sclera, right? And through this incision, we have introduced a crescent blade. This crescent blade we have introduced, and we are fashioning a tunnel. We are dissecting into the scleral tissue, and then we are also reaching the limbus, and we are dissecting into the corneal tissue. So we are making a tunnel. And if you please notice, that we are making side pockets here also. We are making side pockets here also. So our internal incision will be more than the external incision. So this is how sir is making scleral side pockets. Okay. Once we have made side pockets, we are not entering into the antechamber yet with the main incision. We are entering through a side port. So we are making a side port. Here the side port is made by 26 gauge needle, but we can use side port knife also to make side port incision. So once we have done that, then now here what this step is called as continuous curvilinear capsulorhexis. We are we have made a small nick is been given into the anterior capsule, and we are raising a flap. Can you see this flap? We are raising a flap on of the anterior capsule, and we are rotating the flap. Just observe in a parallel to the pupil in a curvilinear manner. So we are aiming at a circular opening into the anterior capsule. So this is called as curvilinear continuous curvilinear capsulorhexis. So there are this is a very ideal method of doing capsulorhexis method. Why? Because here we are making uh, a continuous curvilinear capsulorhexis, so that this margins of this rhexis are very firm and elastic, and they won't give away when we are doing hydrodissection. That means they won't extend, and the centration of the intraocular lens will be also perfect with the CCC, or continuous curvilinear capsulorhexis. But sometimes we do other type. There are other types of capsulotomies also, anti-capsulotomies also. One is called as can opener capsulotomy. So in this we make small continuous radial cuts into the anterior capsule, and we just join these cuts. So that is can opener capsulotomy. Sometimes what we do is we make a linear cut into the anterior capsule superiorly, and we extend the cut with the help of scissor. So this is called as envelope technique of capsulotomy. So these are the types of capsulotomy. But which is the best? The best is CCC. Okay, because it won't extend in posteriorly, and it won't cause posterior capsular tear when we do hydrodissection. So we have done CCC. Then the next step is entry into the anterior chamber and ports. So remember that we have fashioned a scleral tunnel. So we have not yet entered the anterior chamber to the scleral tunnel. So we have to make an internal incision into the scleral tunnel, that we are going to make with the keratome, and then we have to extend that incision. So we enter with a smaller, size keratome, that is 2.8 millimeter, and then with the help of the same keratome, we extend the incision. And we also need to make side port incisions for various other procedures, like removing of superior cortex, then dialing of the intraocular lens. So we make a main entry, and we make side ports also. Yes. Now please observe. So this is main entry. This is around 2.8 kilometer. So we are going into the cornea, and we are entering into the cornea, so that there is tunnel. So this is the internal incision. This is external incision. So with the help of a bigger keratome, maybe we can extend the incision, or we can use the same incision with the same keratome. We can use the same keratome to extend the incision. So this is internal entry. Okay. So here visco is injected into the eye, and this side port entry is also being made. Okay. So that is the next step of during cataract surgery, right? Small incision surgery. Various ports are being made. Yes. Then what we do is we do hydrodissection and you prolapse the nucleus into the anterior chamber. So now with the help of a blunt cannula, we are going underneath the anterior capsule, and injecting ringer lactate solution to make the nucleus free from the adhesions to the bag, and then we are prolapsing the nucleus into the anterior chamber because we want to remove the nucleus, so we have to prolapse the nucleus, right? Yeah. You can see that once we remove the we have to prolapse the nucleus completely into the anterior chamber, then we can inject viscoelastic substance beneath the nucleus, and we can, there are various techniques, but this is one of the techniques where we are inserting wire vectors beneath the nucleus and we are taking out the nucleus. Can you see that? So this portion is epinucleus which is remaining, and irrigation and aspiration of cortex. So we inject the viscoelastic. See, this epinucleus is coming on its own when we are injecting fluid into the eye with the help of Simcoe cannula, right? Then now what we are doing is we have to, this is the, please note that the magnification of the is increased. We have zoomed it because we want to see the cortex minutely. It requires more magnification. So with the help of Simcoe's two-way irrigation and aspiration cannula, we are removing the cortex. Now the superior cortex cannot be removed by the superior incision. So we are using the inferior, this side port incision to remove the superior cortex, or it is also called as sub-incisional cortex, right? Yes. Now everything is clear. You can see a beautiful red glow, and you can see the margin of the anterior capsule very clearly. So now what we do is we have to insert the intraocular lens. Before inserting intraocular lens, we have to make sure that the anterior chamber is well formed with viscoelastic agent. Then we, to the main port, of course, we insert the intraocular lens. Just observe. So this is called as optic portion of the lens, and this is the leading haptic and this is the trailing haptic. So we have to make sure that now the lens goes in the back, so that is beneath the anterior capsule. Okay. So first we have we have put the lens inside, then we have injected visco, then we rotate the lens with the help of dialer, or it is also called as Sinskey's forceps, and we maneuver it beneath the anterior capsule into the capsular bag. Right. This is how we do it. Once we have done that, then we just check the patency of our incision by using air or saline, and we have to press inferiorly to see whether the anterior chamber remains formed or not formed. If we feel that it is not getting formed, then we can use a suture to close the wound. But usually suture is not required in small incision surgery because the incision is self-sealing because of the tunnel. So this tunnel is very important. Yeah. So this is how we take the suture if required. And then we cut it, we cut the suture. I mean, we have to make sure that the ends of suture are not long because they might irritate the patient, right? Sometimes we can give this subconjunctival injection of gentamicin and dexamethasone, and it is optional. We may or may not give, and we have to form the, and we have to repose the flap. Basically this flap we have made, we can repose it with the help of cautery. So these are the steps of cataract surgery. So friends, Friends, I hope that your basics about small incision cataract surgery are clear now. So in the next video, we'll discuss about the steps of phacoemulsification, and then we'll compare the advantages and disadvantages of these procedures on small incision over phaco and phaco over small incision. Thank you so much.